feeding time right now. And this little dude, he's eating a little bit more. It's a wrestling match going on right here. These two are girls, and this guy is a little dude. So we're gonna keep these kittens for probably about a month until they're big enough to get adopted. That's what we do. That's what we do here. We've had 15 kittens this year. Every time we get new ones, I really want to keep all of them, but you know, you can't really do that. There's no such thing as too many cats, but you know. So I'm gonna keep you guys updated on how this goes and how they grow. Hey! What? Now before we get into the sketching part, just make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. That way you get notified when new videos are uploaded every single week. What up, what up? It's the Sketch Monkey here with a brand new sketching video for you. Ah, that's hot. Hot and good. And in this video, I'm gonna do something that is probably the #1 requested thing to do, which is always fun, but I mean, I've done a few videos on it, but I can always make more. And that is to sketch cars, specifically how to sketch cars in front view perspective or something like that, like a slight front view perspective. So there are a few things. I mean, it depends on what kind of car you're sketching. First of all, you're sketching an SUV, maybe a mini, compact car, or a sporty car. It depends. But one thing I always like to do is to start with an ellipse. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Put this ellipse right here. So this is going to be the basic shape of our car right here. And I'm gonna put in, after I put the ellipse out like this, the ellipse, the width, the height of the ellipse is gonna determine the perspective of the sketch. So if you have a narrow ellipse like this, that means that you're gonna see it almost from ground level. And if you make it, bigger like this, that means that we're gonna see it from, this wheelbase is ridiculous, but that means that we're gonna see it from a slight top view like this. So here we have the body of the car. Maybe this is like a small compact car. Let's see if we can get this right. Can't believe Rosie didn't come up and say hi. Rosie, you mad? I think she's mad today. Spending too much time with the kittens. She doesn't like it. She gets jealous. Let's make kind of like alpha wheels like that. These are not in the correct spots here. But who cares? I'm gonna keep it like that. You can fill it in like this. Right now I'm just doing details here as I figure out how I'm gonna solve this sketch. So let's make a spoiler back here. Bam, like that. Let's see, do we have the geometrics correct here? I think like small cars, they have an A-pillar going almost at the top of the front wheel, because they have such a tiny little engine that doesn't need much space. We can make like something like that. And the rear is almost like straight down. It doesn't have a trunk or something like that because it's a hatchback. And then perspective lines, you can make them like, you can put them out like that. That's basically everything I do when it comes to perspective. And yes, the perspective might be a little bit off, but I'd rather have it a little bit off than spending an hour just setting up perspective lines, because that's just too boring. I'm not sure about this line right here. See if we can get some doors going here. Maybe some front graphics or something. So how do we want the headlights to look like here? I think they're usually pretty big on compact cars like this. Maybe that'll do. So we have the perspective kind of nailed. I mean, not nailed, but we have it. We can see now we have so many guides that's gonna help us. The more lines you put down, the more guides you're gonna have to help you get the perspective right. So in the beginning, you're gonna have, at least this is how I sketch, I'm gonna have a lot of issues with the perspective until I put more lines down, and then I go from one part to, I go from the front and check the perspective if everything looks okay, and then I just move my eye all the way back and fix as I go. So I don't worry about the perspective to start with. It doesn't matter if it's messed up. I'd rather just have more lines down and kind of go from there. Not make it too complicated. Just basically just have fun and mess things up. That's what you want to do. Let's see what we can do with this light. And now I guess we can start add some line weight and stuff to this, just to get some depth. I'm not gonna be using any markers for these sketches. I'm just gonna use the BiC pen. And don't forget to rotate the paper to make things easy for yourself, instead of trying to get your hand in a weird angle like that and just mess things up. It's easier to just rotate the paper. Makes more sense. Just adding some basic line weight here now to get that depth into this sketch. At least try to get it. It's not it's not the most beautiful car I've ever sketched in my life, but I'm just trying to show you the point of starting with an ellipse and then go from there and just add the fix the perspective as you go along. kind of want this to be narrower than this, so I wanted to get, I want this line to kind of go here, but I think it's too late to get that. That's too big of an adjustment right now. I'll see what we can do with the front here. Let's make some section lines to help ourselves. These wheels are ridiculous, I know. They're way too big for this small compact car. Let's see if we can maybe destroy the sketch and change the rims into actual spokes. Probably gonna mess up the whole thing, but you know what? It's all good. You know how designers always put like 28-inch rims on a Fiat 500 on the sketches? There's a reason for that. It just makes... You want your sketches to be... They're not supposed to be realistic, really. They're just supposed to invoke a feeling. And when you put big rims on a sketch, it makes it look planted, and it makes it look appealing. That's kind of the whole point with sketches. And I'm doing this line shading in all kinds of directions here. Normally you kind of want to keep them in the same directions. If I start by doing it this way, I kind of want to do that the same here and the same here, like going this way. But sometimes it's just easier to follow the direction of the whatever is easiest to sketch, if that makes sense. Probably not, but still. I'm gonna change these rims too. Make them into spokes. See if we can go all the way around this. Let's dip it right there. And I guess we can start to add some line shading and reflections to this now. Look at that cute little lamp. Just a very, very basic front fascia on this one. So I know the idea was to show you different kinds of front view. But you know, once I get started with a sketch and I enjoy it, I might as well finish it. Or add some more details to it. What else? What else? I know a few of you will tell me that, hey, you don't have any side mirrors. How is he supposed to be driving this car, or she, with no side mirrors? He's gonna get involved in an accident like that. But the thing is, I don't really like to sketch side mirrors because they're just a... Now I gotta do it at this perspective because I started talking about it, but let's do it, okay? Let's do a challenge here. Something like that. Looks good. That looks alright, I guess. Looks okay. I just don't like sketching them because they're just tiny blobs that don't really make a lot of sense for a sketch to me. But since I'm getting so many comments about it, I gotta make everybody happy and just make something simple like that. Weird looking thing. I mean, we can go on and on with this sketch. I can spend probably half an hour just adding shading and fixing the perspective and adding more details to this. Can add some tiny reflections to it. Why not? Why not? This is a tiny door back here. Someone is snoring back here too. I think it's Linus. It's a big dude. I don't know if you can hear him, but it's crazy. Crazy loud. Let's add the shade of the rim down there, down here as well. Maybe add some styling points up there. No idea why I put that line there. Let's do something like that. And something like this. Alright, so we have our tiny little lowered, slammed hatchback here. All the way down. So that's one way of sketching in, what is this? 3/4 front top view. Just start by an ellipse. Put some lines down. Stop for a second. See what's going on. And then you just adjust the lines as you go. So that's one way of sketching. If you want to have it like in a more lower side view, then I would start with an ellipse like this. Narrower. This height here depends on is gonna tell you what kind of perspective you're sketching in. And then I just put out the wheels like this. 1 and 2, and then I put an end point right there. And then I use this ellipse. You can see that this ellipse is almost following the roof line here. Then we just need to cut the roof line like that. And you can see now that we basically have the perspective of the car here. So that's another trick that you can use to sketch to get the basic perspective down first and fast. The most important thing, though, is just to play around with it, have fun, don't take it too seriously. It's just sketching. So if you're supposed to be making a lot of mistakes before you figure things out. That's just how it works. Otherwise, everybody would be car designers and whatever if it doesn't take time. And I feel like, unfortunately, today, I mean, it's just how society works today. You're supposed to get results on the first day or without putting in any effort, but that's just not how things work, and it's never worked like that. So just remember to have fun and doodle away and adjust the perspective as you go and address the problems as they come up. And we can add some line weight to this as well, real quick. There we go. That's basically what I wanted to show you in this video, how to sketch. This can be, you don't have to just use this for cars. It can be applied to pretty much any type of product or object that you're sketching. It depends on what kind of artist or designer you are, or if you like to set up a perspective grid line for 40 minutes before you start sketching, that's up to you. I mean, that's totally cool if you have the patience to do that. But to me, this is just way more fun and fluid to just get some lines down on the paper. Once you have the lines down, then you start to see what is wrong and what you can improve on. So I wanted to put some final touches to the sketch. And instead of talking over what I'm doing, I kind of covered everything I wanted to cover. I decided to just speed up the rest of this video. thanks for checking out this video. I hope it was useful to you and that you got some tips out of it. So I have a goal of reaching 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year. I have no idea how I'm gonna do it, but I need your help. So if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. I will see you next time. Take it easy, guys, and don't forget to doodle something.